They scroll, they like, they watch, but they never post. No selfies. No new profile picture. It's almost like they're invisible in a world screaming to be seen. But what if this silence isn't emptiness? What if it's strength? Because sometimes the ones who hide the most online are the ones most alive inside. There's a quiet kind of confidence that lives in people who don't post their photos. They've stopped measuring their worth through hearts, likes, or comments. Their validation doesn't come from pixels. It comes from peace. They aren't avoiding attention. They're avoiding distortion. Because every time you post a photo, you create a version of yourself for the world to judge, edit, compare, and comment on. And maybe they've realized they don't owe the world a version. They've understood something many haven't, that presence doesn't always need to be proven. You see, we live in an age of exposure, where people show more and feel less, where moments are lived for cameras, and memories are replaced by filters. But the ones who stay unseen, they live a little differently. They experience life without the need to document it. They dance without recording. They travel without posting. They smile, and it stays just between them and the moment, and that is freedom. Some of them are deeply introspective. They don't post because they're too busy thinking. They don't talk much about themselves, not because they don't have stories, but because they've learned that privacy is power. They understand that mystery has a kind of beauty, that not everything sacred needs to be shared. When they look in the mirror, they don't ask, "Will this look good online?" They ask, "Do I feel at peace with myself?" And maybe that's why they seem distant, because the digital world can't capture their depth. Others don't post, because they've been hurt by it before. They've shared once and learned that the internet doesn't love sincerely. It compares. It competes. It turns life into a performance, and they refuse to perform anymore. They've stepped off the stage, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. And here's the irony. The ones who don't post are often the most real because they don't need to constantly prove who they are. They're not addicted to showing. They're content with being. They know that authenticity isn't always visible. It's quiet. It's unseen. And maybe that's the truest kind. So the next time you scroll past a name that never posts, don't assume they're shy, insecure, or disconnected. They might just be protecting something sacred, their peace, their mystery, their sanity. Because sometimes the most beautiful faces are the ones the internet never sees, and the loudest presence is the one that speaks without ever saying a word. They don't post because they're not trying to be seen. They're trying to see life for what it really is.